This
Okay,
conference
thank
will
you.
now be recorded.
Very good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining the demo session organized by WinHand, and I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's begin the demo and welcome to SuccessFactor Employee Central Core Module demo. And in this module, we will be discussing on what the topics we will be covering and what we would be needing the skill sets, okay, once we cover the learn this particular module. Okay, so to begin with the demo, okay, people have a question, okay, so whether is this a technical or is it too technical, will I be able to learn it fast, will I be able to do the coding in the system, okay, what kind of technical things that we have to do it, okay, so there will be lot of questions related to this particular one, okay, so when we talk about IT, it is more of coding. So how technical is this particular module, or how technical is this particular subject, okay, employee central as a module or as a subject. So to answer to all your questions, okay, so who can attend the training, okay, so here is you are too worried about technical, okay, so I will answer to this question the following slide. And who can attend this training, okay, so first, people with the good HR knowledge, okay, so it could be like no, or the HR background or HR degree, let's say MBA HR, okay, MHR, HR degree qualification, they can attend this particular training course. And knowledge in any functions of HR, okay, so be it a recruitment, generalist, compliance, or let's say the line HR, whatever the separation, HR search, shared services, any particular domain in HR, they can participate in this. And also anybody from the other HR tools like SAP HCM, now it is called HSM, PeopleSoft, Oracle, Taleo, Workday, or Salesforce. Any ERP who know, okay, people know any ERP, they can also learn SuccessFactor. And graduates, or let's say engineering, commerce, or MBA, whatever the graduates who have a good understanding of the HR function, what the recruitment team does, what the onboarding team does, what the HR operation team does, what the compliance team does, what the shared services they do, okay, and what is the offboarding, the separations teams they do, what is offboarding, what is crossboarding, those kind of things. And anyone interested in HR cloud technology, okay, should have the interest to learn, okay, so all can attend the training, okay. So now I'll come back to the first slide. Is this too technical? Okay, so you should be having this question in your mind, okay, to answer to your question. It is not technical, okay, it is more of a process driven, okay, concepts driven, analytical mind is what we required here. How do we write a feature, how do we configure a particular thing, so more of a documentations are there, okay, the implementation guide is available. You should have a clear knowledge and understanding to execute the work, okay, to execute the technology, execute the ERP, configure the ERP, or let's say configure the solutions, cloud solution, and customize the cloud solution as per the client requirement. So to answer to this particular question, it is not too technical, perhaps it is very less technical. Okay, so if you have any question, feel free to ask me then and there. Okay. Okay, so now success factor. So you all now wanted to learn success factor, have come for the demo for success factor. But to know the origin of success factor, how come this particular product is so famous and across the world? Who founded this product? Okay, how the company evolved in these decades, in the last few decades. Okay, SuccessFactor, it's 2001. It was founded by Lars Dalgaard. Okay, it is an US-based company. Okay, and headquarters is in San Francisco. And SuccessFactor is more of a human capital management. Okay, so they provide HCM. Now it is SAP changed the name to HSM. Okay, but they provide more of a HR solutions. Now, SuccessFactor was a US company, and then later it was SuccessFactor have acquired few companies. Okay, what are those companies? Okay, so they acquired InfoHR, an Australian-based company, and UCalc for the service-based companies they have acquired, and also Jobs to Web Link, which is based the web-based services link. So those companies they have acquired it. So these are the acquisition done by SuccessFactor, and later SuccessFactor was acquired by SAP. Okay, so in 2011 is the time where they have announced they wanted to acquire SuccessFactor, and the acquisition completed in the year 2012. Till now, SuccessFactor was very famous or very well known only in the US market, and outside US market it was known but not that as famous. When SAP acquired, so all of you should be knowing SAP is a German product. Okay, so now once SAP acquired, and SAP has a global presence. So when SuccessFactor became an SAP company, then the global market opened up for SuccessFactors. So that is the reason where you would see SuccessFactor requirements across the world, not just specific to Europe or US. You can see across the world, even the Latin American countries, South America, or you go to Australia or any part of the world, you see a lot of SuccessFactor implementation happens across the globe. So now, okay, now we know what is SuccessFactor. It is not too technical. How SuccessFactor originated and who was acquired SuccessFactor, when it was acquired. Now we know all those things. Now, what is SuccessFactor? Okay, so we all know SuccessFactor is a cloud solution. But yes, SuccessFactor is a cloud solution. But first, to understand, before understanding SuccessFactor, what is a cloud solution? So we need to know what is a cloud solution. Without knowing what is a cloud solution, if you are trying to learn SuccessFactor, it is not the right way. So first we need to know what is cloud. So cloud has got four different service offerings. So software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, functions as a service. So we say SaaS, IaaS, PaaS, and FaaS. So these are the services all put together is called cloud services. I hope my screen is visible for you all.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So now what is cloud is we are clear. What types of cloud? Okay, so if you see the types of cloud, we have a public cloud and private cloud and a hybrid cloud. Public cloud is more of open, private is a particular private network, and hybrid is a mix of public and private. And we have community and multi-cloud, but these are not these are not required. I would say community cloud and multi-cloud. The reason is we are only talking about SuccessFactor. Okay.
Kumar, am I audible?
Yes.
I just want to understand that the screen that you are sharing is the SAP success factor only, na? Not any other screen.
No, I'm sharing the types of cloud. Okay. Let me share
It's
it
not
again.
reflecting actually. Yeah.
Okay, let me share it again. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, now we can see that it is into the PPT, correct?
Yes. Okay. I think there is. I was sharing a different, I mean, sharing, I just clicked on only one window. Okay.
Yeah, now it's done.
Okay. So these are the two technical one, and who can attend, and the origin of success factor, and acquisition by success factor, and when success factor was acquired. What is cloud and types of cloud.
Thank
So
you.
now, okay. So coming to the types of cloud, okay, we have a public cloud and a private cloud and hybrid cloud. Okay. So hybrid is more, so public is not that open. It's open, and private is more of no, it's a very closed network, and where hybrid is a combo of both. So you have a on-prem and also you have a cloud. So that is hybrid. Community cloud and multi-cloud, we are not using it in SuccessFactor. Okay, so now coming to this, okay, some of you should be knowing this term, okay, HCM, Human Capital Management, is no longer is called Human Capital Management. It is called Human Experience Management. Okay, so why the Human Experience Management is come? Okay, so the intention of SAP, okay, so to make it more of an experience rather than more of a product. So what they are focusing is no, not on just process, okay, they are focusing more on the experience, okay, so the experience should bring value, the product experience should bring value to the customer, not just a process. So that is what they are trying to convey, and that is what the business impact that comes to the customers also. So now, okay, we all say, okay, success factor is a global product. How it is a global product? On what basis we say yes, it is a global product? Okay, it has a global presence. It is a multi-country availability and support. So when we'll see currently, okay, the translations available in 47 languages, and okay, and in the coming slide, I will also show what are the languages, and it's used by more than 200 plus countries. Okay, so that is what the success factor website they are trying to say, that yes, this is what happening. And when it comes to the globalization, yes, it has multiple countries, okay, and it has the global fields for to support any global requirement. They have a global template which supports all the global requirement. At the same time, they also support the localization, okay, so the local requirement for the countries, and they have a template for 100 plus localized versions. So now you can see some of the localized versions what they are trying to support, okay, 104 plus, okay. So now they keep increasing the localized versions for especially for employee central, and you can see the languages, how many languages they support. Okay, so they support more than 47 languages, and now the count is keep increasing. And you can also see Hindi as one of the language, and when it comes to English, it's US English and UK English. These are the various language packs that are available, and the customer can enable those language pack, and so that they can see the screen in their own language. So now, what is success factor? So now we know what is the product, what are the benefits, what are the facilities client gets in success factor. Now, what is success factor? Okay, so now we talk about three different category. Okay, get people working on the right things. Okay, what is right things? And now I will answer to that. Find the right people to make them great, and run better solution. Okay, so now the all the three put together, they want to identify the right person for the right job. Okay, and find the right skill set, and when the right skill set is available, we need to make those people performance increase. Okay, so they have to perform in a right way, so that we can run the business in a better way. So that is what the complete intention. Now to find the right person, okay, what is this? So you get a recruitment which finds the right person, and they have been compensated for the work. They need to have the proper learning so that they can deliver properly. Whenever there is a plan of succession, there should be a succession management in plan, okay, so that the cycle goes properly. And based on the work and learning and succession, there is a performance. So where the employees have been done performance and the workforce. So all these are all the talent that talks about employee. Then to all these things, there is one single thing which is the core, which is called employee central. Okay, see, when employee is hired, when an employee is onboarded, we need to have the employee data. Okay, so without having an employee data, or without having an organization data, or a job data, position data, or the hierarchy data, no organization will exist. If there is an organization, if there is a company is existing, they should have their employee data, they should have their company data, they should have the number of jobs, they should have the number of positions, they should have the salary details. Okay, the salary details, compensation details should be maintained. All these things are maintained in employee central. So employee central, when we say it is a vast module, the reason is all these data, it's a master data. Okay, in single word, if you want to tell, employee central is a master data for the employees. Any employee data is stored in employee central. Whether you say a personal information, job information, address information, contact information, or let's say our family details, let's say our benefits details, our dependent details, emergency contact, or let's say our visa and permit detail, work permit information, any details we have, what we have, all this data is stored in employee central. Okay, so now on an overview, I told what are the data stored in employee central. How do we access the SuccessFactors system or the employee central system? There are two ways where you can access the system. One is from the back end and the second one is from the front end. The back end, what is the back end system is called is provisioning. Okay. So the provisioning is the back end system where you can log into the system. Okay. So when we say log into the system, so to get the system access, we should have the certification. Okay. So with that certification, we should have approval from the client, then raise it to SuccessFactor, then SuccessFactor will give the access for the provisioning. So this is the backend where you log in, you see the company ID, the company, all these things you should be able to see it. Then you can start configuring it. This is the backend, and this is the front end instance. Okay, the front end is called instance. Okay, so here we need to do the configurations in the system. So we build the organization data, or let's say the company data, we build the employee data, we build the workflow data, position data, job information data, and all the employee personal and employment related data we build here. So this is a very important place, admin center or instance we call it. So normally we call it as instance. Now this is the home page of SuccessFactor. Okay, what you see in the home page. So you get a lot of features for related to employees. So when there is a employee is going on a leave, when they raise a leave request, it goes for an approval. When there is a promotion is initiated, it goes for an approval. When employee is trying to address change, it goes for an approval. When a women employees, or let's say male employee, when the marital status changes, okay, from single to married, then we need to upload the medical marriage certificate, and also we need to change the dependent details. Okay, so those information, everything, okay, it's all whatever you see is a tail. This is called tail. Okay, so this information all you can see it on the home page. So now this is an admin center. Okay, so this is how the admin center will look. We have admin center where we go and check the features, configure the features. We can check for an employee. We can edit the employee data. We can, let's say, addition, deletion, and also any promotion, any termination, anything we do it in the instance. Okay. So now, so now I know there are two tools. One is provisioning, second one is instance is used. Now this is okay. Now what is a methodology that SuccessFactor follows? Okay, so the SAP standard process of implementing a SuccessFactor project. Okay, so let's say when you join in a SuccessFactor project, okay, how you need to do the implementation of the project. Okay, so now there is a set of methodology that should be followed. Okay, so when we talk about, we have agile, activate methodology, or let's say waterfall technology. A lot of different methodologies are being followed, but SuccessFactor has got a activate methodology that should be followed. I will explain them in the coming slide. Yes, so this activate project methodology is the process we follow in the typical SuccessFactor implementation. It follows, now it has prepare, explore, realize, and deploy. What are the activities we will be doing it in every stage of the project? So you can see it very clearly here. In prepare phase, what we do. In explore phase, what we do. In realization phase, what we do. In deploy, what we do. Okay. So preparation is just a normal preparation. Initially, everything getting ready for the system, and then we do the explore. Explore is what we have the iteration, and some they call it a sprint also based on the customer to customer. So normally we call it as a iteration 1 2 3. Okay, so then the same cycle followed for iteration 2, iteration 3. Then we go for realization, deploy, we do the execution of the projects. So this we can talk more on the live training. Okay, since this is a demo, I'm just giving a overview of all this information. Now, what is a BizX process view? Okay, this is an SAP SuccessFactors standard BizX process view that is supposed to be followed in all the SuccessFactor projects. So now what you see here is a end-to-end process view. Okay, so this process follows the end-to-end, this image. So when we say end-to-end, what is this end-to-end? Hire to retire. When an employee is hired, okay, so what you see here is attract to hire. So recruiting, okay, first day joining, hiring people, onboarding people. So here the employee is been hired, and here what you see offboarding, okay, which is retire. Okay, it could be a retire or a termination or end of employment. Okay, so between this hire to retire, you see lot of these activities have been done here. Okay, so we say performance, or let's say work manage, or learning. Okay, so whether we do a learning or we do a education plan, career development plan, or let's say payroll. Okay, employee getting transferred to one position to another position, all these activities, whatever is done between hire to retire, whatever activities, all these activities are captured as part of success factor module in employee central for the employees. So this is what you can see, all these are covered under this particular slide. Okay, so now what are the different processes we have? So same thing, what we can see hire. Okay, so when we have an hire, what are the different processes followed in hire? Okay, when we have onboarding, okay, these are the process followed for onboarding. Then we have the data coming to employee central. Okay, so this is what happens to employee central when data comes to employee central. So you see here hire, onboarding, then joining, employees joining, then till employee is getting terminated or retires. So whatever activities we do here, these are all captured here. Okay, so once an employee joins, he will be a probationer. Okay, so he will complete his probation. Okay, once the probation is completed, he's become an active employee in the organization. He will change a job, transfer, promotion, change in the salary, hike happens, everything happens. After that, he will be retired or he will resign the job. So whatever the case, so that is called end of employment, end of contract. So now, what are the different landscape, or let's say what are the things that comes in the landscape of success factor? The same thing. So as I say, hire to retire. Okay, whatever activities we will be doing it during this particular thing, what hire to retire. Okay, so employee is hired in recruitment system, the recruiting module. Employee is onboarded in the onboarding module. Employee data is completely maintained from hire to retire in employee central. In between, employee performance is done in the performance management. Employee learnings are done in the learning management. Employees compensation done in the compensation module. So for all this module, okay, so there is one module that is the base module, or I would say which is the core module, is employee central. So that is the reason learning employee central and having a good knowledge in employee central is very very important. Even we may see a recruiting consultant, onboarding consultant. Even for them, they should have a basic knowledge of employee central. Otherwise, it is difficult for them to be very successful in that module, because everything end of the day comes to employee central only. So now, what is employee central or the core? The core EC. Okay. So we have a people data. When we talk about people data, there is a employee data, standalone data, and also we can build a customer specific data. Okay. Every data changes will go for an approval, and the approval could be a number 1, 2, 3, and we can also update in the CC role. We can also have the HR admin to contribute and put comments as a contributor role. So now every actions, okay, whenever there is a change happens in the employee data, that results in the event and event recent. So those data changes could be effective dated or non-effective dated. What is effective dated? Okay, when there is a change happens in your contact information, okay, so it may not be a effective dated. Okay, when there is a change happens in your job information, let's say you get a promotion from one position to another position, then it is a effective dated. Okay, when you till what time to what time you were there in the last position, when you got promoted, because the organization should know your data, so that when you can get the next promotion, when you got a transfer, okay, so that you can be transferred back. So for those reasons they should have the historical data. Anything which says effective dated, which means that have a historical data. Anything which says non-effective, that does not have a historical data. This is a very simple thing that we need to understand. Any questions so far? Okay.
Kumar, I have a question.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, Kumar, actually, I just want to understand that when this employee central is worked with the onboardings and with the exit of the employees, okay? So is it going to work in the same way that the Azure clouds and all do for the same?
Okay. Success factor module. Okay. Whole module. Let's say be it recruiting, onboarding, or EC, PMGM, compensation. Everything is in cloud. All it's a complete cloud solution. Success factor itself is a cloud solution.
Fine.
Okay. So now, okay, so we have something called employee profile, employee center. Okay, so probably in the training you will have more information about this particular one. To just throw you some light, I will explain this. Employee profile is a gateway to all modules. So when we talk about employee central, the master data, it is a closed product. Okay, so now other modules, if they want any data from employee center, let's say performance management, they want to know the employee company. Okay, what is that company, department he is working on, location he is working on. They cannot take the data directly from employee central. What employee central will do, employee central will just put the data in the employee profile. Then the other modules can come and pick the data from employee profile. So which means this is called the gateway for employee central. So in this case, the data is very secure, and for other modules, whatever data they want, they can come and pick it from employee profile. Okay. And what are the different data you see in the system for EC and EP? So how employee central data looks and how the employee profile data looks. This is how the data will look, and the other modules can come and pick the data from employee profile. Okay, so now we talked about the project methodology, a typical success factor project, how it will work. Okay, so we have the iteration 1, 2, 3. This is the typical process they follow in the live project. Okay, probably when I talk about more in the training, I can explain in detail about what is iteration. Every iteration, what are the steps we do, and the same steps will be repeated in iteration 2 and iteration 3. Once all iteration 3 is signed, the customer will give a sign off for our configuration alignment. So I can explain that what will be the configuration, everything in detail. I can explain in the live training. So just to give you a nutshell of information, how a system will look, a success factor system, how it will look. So you can see here, these are the screens taken from the demo system where you can see your data or the employee data. They can see the org data. They can see the workflow approval. When the workflow goes, how the approval will look. And they can see the calendar. They can see the org structure, position org structure, and also normal person org structure. So here, data migration. Okay, what is a data migration? Okay, so when we are moving from one system, okay, so when the customer is going on SuccessFactors system, okay, so they will be having a old legacy system, correct? So in the legacy system, if they wanted the data to be moved to the new system, that functionality is called data migration. How they will move the data from the old system to the new system. So that is what important here. So those activities we covered it in data migration. Okay, so for testing process within SuccessFactor. Okay, so everything will go for a testing in a live projects. There are various stages of testing happens in the project. Okay, so we have the unit testing, we have the iteration testing, we have so we have the integration testing and the UAT, user acceptance testing also. Okay, and end-to-end testing also is that is also part of the integration testing. So they will integrate all the module and they will be checking the integration testing. So now foundation objects. Okay, this is just to give you a nutshell of information about what are the things we will be studying in the employee central module. Okay, these are the different structure we will be studying. Okay, what are those structures? So there is a structure for location, the structure for job data, and also a structure for pay data, compensation data, salary data, and also structure for organization. What are the different structures we have? So these are the structure in detail we will know. Then whenever we configure anything, whenever talk about any structure, we will know, okay, this falls into which structure, be it location, job, pay, or organization structure. So when we talk about the important structure is organization structure. Okay, so these are the structure objects we have: legal entity, business unit, division, department, and when it comes to legacy of objects, foundation objects, location group, location. So when an organization, okay, when they check how the data will look, okay, the top is a company, below that what is the business unit, below that what is the subunit, department, division, all those things will come in that sequence. So the association what we call maintain, okay, so when we talk about the organization or organization structure, SuccessFactor provides a four standard organization structure. One is a legal entity, second business unit, third division, and the fourth is department. Okay, so these are the four standard features SuccessFactor provides. If required, we can also add a custom feature in the organization structure, but SAP recommends to cover it in the four structure itself. Okay, so when we talk about structure, okay, the organization structure has got organization structure and also position structure and also person structure. So what you see, a typical company will look like the company and the business unit name, division. We can also see how many employees are working in each the business unit, each division, each department. So this gives you a complete clarity. Okay, in this division, so many employees are working, so many positions are vacant, so many positions are yet to be recruited. And here you can see a mapping. So in most of the cases, okay, some of the customers know they might have SAP HCM, okay, and they wanted to upgrade to SuccessFactor. For them, this is a very useful slide. Okay, so how they do a mapping? Okay, so in SAP HCM or SAP ERP, they have a company code, but here we call it as company code as a legal entity. Okay, so there they call position. Here also we call it as position. There in SAP ERP we call it as org unit. Okay, here we call it as business unit. So these differences we will be able to understand when we migrate from SAP HCM or SAP on-prem HCM system to SuccessFactor. This clarification understanding is required from the consultant. So pay structure leading practice. So when we talk about pay structure or a compensation data or a comp structure, both same. Every compensation data will have a basic salary, allowances, and target bonus. So when we talk about them, okay, so the components in the salary consist of four different things. One is recurring payment, which is done on the monthly basis, one time payment which is done on only one time, recurring deduction which is done on the monthly basis, one time deduction. Okay, so that is done only one time deduction. These are the different types of pay component and pay component groups that needs to be covered in the compensation data. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll take the silence as no. Okay, so further when we talk about the compensation data, the pay groups and the pay calendar, these are the way it is followed. Okay, so we can have a weekly payroll, monthly payroll, bi-weekly payroll. So like that, this depends on the customer or the client requirement. We have to do the configurations in this system. So the pay structure, these are the different pay structures. We have it in Employee Central. So in most of the cases, okay, in Employee Central, this is a very general question. What is the difference between a job and a position? Okay, so this we need to understand very clearly. Okay, so job describes the nature of work what we do here. Okay, but the position represents the seat within the company. This particular position, okay, this position is here. Okay, let's say HR manager. Okay, the title could be a assistant manager or it could be a general manager. So, but that position is HR manager. So like that, we will be having a job and a position title. Now, all this fine, but when the employee data is available, okay, there is a transaction is going to take place. Let's say an employee is completed 3 years, or let's say 2 years or 5 years. Now the manager wants to promote an employee. So the manager cannot promote an employee just like that. So now the manager wants to promote an employee with an approval from the management, correct? So in this case, how a manager will raise this? Manager will raise a event or a transaction called promotion. So this promotion goes, or the event or event reason goes to the approval. So probably it could be one level or two level or three level of approval it goes. Once the approval is happening, there will be alerts and notification to the participant in the workflow. So and so workflow is approved. Okay, so that is done for any HR transaction, whether it is promotion or a demotion or a location transfer or a department transfer or a business unit transfer or a company transfer. Okay, and just to give you a nutshell of information, there are some standard HR transactions, events and event reasons are available. So you can see it here, the event and the event reasons. Whatever you see it on green are event, and whatever you see it on white are event reasons. So now, what is the data landscape for Employee Center? So we talk about employee data, but what actually those employee data consist of? Okay, you can see a personal information. What are the information that do they cover? So they have a personal information and they also have a global information. Okay, so biographical information and address information. When we talk about address information, what are the address information they capture? They capture home address, they capture office address, they capture communication address or the mailing address. In address itself, they have different types of address and we have to update the information. Okay, contact information. When you talk about contact information, we can capture the contact phone information, email information, social account information also. So these are the landscape where employee central can accommodate to get maximum of employee data, or I would say all the employee data as a whole. Okay, so how these data are captured in employee central? So they are captured in the concept of portlets. Okay, so those who have SAP knowledge, we call it as, in SAP term, we call it as info type. Okay, info type 08, info type 09, or let's say info type 105, info type 7, info type 48, like that. We have the term called portlet is also called here. So this captures, let's say, the personal information what you see here. This is one portlet. What you see, the biographical information, this is another portlet. So that is okay. Every portlet has got fields. Okay, the personal information is a portlet is fine. The first name, last name, middle name, salutation, these are all called fields in the system. So the fields, multiple fields are called as portlets. Okay, or the portlet will have multiple fields in within it. Okay, and a data overview of all these elements, all these portlets, what are the various type of portlets we have under personal objects, under employment object. So we can see a different portlets, we have it under person object and the employment objects. Again, just to give you a clarity of that. Okay, so the HCM global info type versus employee data. Okay, so what we call it as info type in SAP HCM. Okay, that is what you can see it here, the top SAP HCM info type 001246789. In SuccessFactor, what we call it? Okay, personal information data, global information. Let's say 8 is a job and pay component, 7 job information, 9 is a payment information. Like that, we can kind of differentiate between SAP HCM to SuccessFactor. Okay. And to show some of the live data, how the system will look in SAP HCM or SAP on-prem HSM and from SuccessFactor. So this is a SuccessFactor screen, and what you see here is a SAP HCM screen, a typical SAP HCM screen and a typical SuccessFactor screen. So SuccessFactor screen is more of a user friendly. Okay, so the it gives you a very comfort user experience for the people who are using SuccessFactor. Okay, and this talks about the info type 105 communication, and in SuccessFactor it is called contact information portlet. And here info type 009 is called bank details. In SuccessFactor we call them payment information. So why do we need to know all this information? Okay, so you might have this question. It is good to know a better understanding or a few information about the legacy system, so that when a customer migrates from a SAP HCM to SuccessFactor, we can understand the system very well. We know SuccessFactor. If we know a better understanding of SAP HCM, it is an added advantage for the smooth functioning of the project, and also that gives you a success rate. Okay, so as a consultant, you will don't have to worry about lot, since you know how the feature works. It's always a success for the consultant. So this is one of the thing that no, when employee gets transferred from India to US, goes on a assignment for a long time, we have something called home assignment and host assignment. So we call it as global assignment here in SuccessFactor terminology. So this is the host where the employee is deputed to US. Okay, so that is how it looks: home country and host assignment. Or let's say host assignment is also called as a global assignment. Job information. Okay, so how a job information will look in SuccessFactor, how the job information data will look in SAP. So it has got three different info type, and in SuccessFactor it is comes under one single portlet, which is called job information. Same with compensation data. You can see compensation data, basic pay, organized assignment, action. Whereas in SuccessFactor, under one single portlet, all the compensation data are been captured. So as I said, it is more of a user-friendly tool or user-friendly software, SuccessFactor. Same for non-recurring. Okay. Now, to give you a clarity of organization structure. Okay, I already discussed about organization structure. So it gives you a organization assignment. So it's like no, who reports to whom. Okay, so when we talk about all these things, when I say who's my manager, I can see my manager. My manager has my manager has how many reportees. I can see the reportees. Who's my manager's manager? We can keep seeing the hierarchy. In the same way, what I showed you here is the employee hierarchy, or let's say person hierarchy or org structure. Here we talk, it says about position org structure. Based on the position, what is the structure is maintained in the system. And there is also a term, or one of the famous term is called concurrent employment. What is concurrent employment? So this talks about an employee is having two jobs within the organization. Let's say a retail company. Okay, so if they have 5 6 outlet in the same location, let's say in Hyderabad they have 5 outlets in Hyderabad. one in Begumpet, one in Madhapur. Okay, an employee, okay, works as a cashier morning 5 hours in Madhapur, okay, retail showroom, and second half he works another 4 hours, let's say in Begumpet as a supervisor. Same company, two different employment, the same location. So here the thing is, no, they can maintain this 4 hours, 4 hours, two different employment they can do it. If the nature of job is different. In one place he is a cashier, in another place he is a supervisor. And this is one of the very famous concept in success factor. Okay, this is not specific to employee central. This is across success factor module. Very important subject topic. RBP, we call it as RBP, role based permission. So here this decides on one thing: who should have what access. An employee should have what access, an HR should have what access, a manager should have what access, a senior manager should have what access, HR BP should have what access, based on the role of the employees. They will be decided what data they should see, what data they should not see, what data they should have edit access, what data they should have only view access. So all these things are captured in RBP, which is very important. Some of the standard RBP roles, as I said, HR administrator, manager, second level of manager, employee, system administrator. Okay, and there is something called workbook in SuccessFactor, which is a very important thing. Whatever we discuss with the customer, with the client to implement SuccessFactor for them, we capture all the requirement. Okay, so we call it as no BRD or BBP. Okay, business blueprint or business requirement document. Both put together is called workbook. Okay, so for employee central, we have different types of or different workbooks we have. Every workbook should be captured. Okay, in every iteration what we discuss with the customer, what they want, it should be captured, and this should get signed off by the customer. Once we get the sign off from the customer, we are supposed to do whatever committed or mentioned in the workbook. So that is a deal, or let's say the sign off agreement with the customer we get. Okay, so these are the a demo for today. I will also take you through the course content. Can you see my screen, this particular screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes. So now, okay, so the course, what and all we will be covering in the course. You can see it here. So most of them are covered in the presentation itself. Okay, why cloud, why success factor, and the different modules that are in success factor, and role of a service consultant, professional service consultant, or a success factor consultant. What is activate methodology, configuration of workbook that we discussed. What are the URL? Okay, so when we talk about the success factor, how to get the access, HCM cloud is what we need to raise an access. If you have any questions, doubts, we can use community portal, or if you need to download any documents, we can use the partner saphelp.com partner page. And if you want to raise a ticket with SAP, we have to do it in SAP Launchpad or SAP Formi. Okay, and release management. Before it was a quarterly release, now it is half-yearly release. Every 6 months we get a release update from SuccessFactor. What is the cycle? How the cycle is followed? The release, how first comes to which system, second comes to what system, how the release management should be implemented to the customer. So all these things will be covered here. Understanding of SuccessFactor terminology, as I discussed, portlet, okay, and we have section, subsection, we have field, all these different terminologies. WF means workflow. Okay, so like that we have a CDM, corporate data model, SDM, succession data model, CSF CDM, country specific corporate data model, CSF SDM, country specific succession data model. All those terminologies will be discussed, and whenever we talk about those topics, we will try to use those terminologies for you to get familiar with the terminologies. And implementation sequence. Okay, so even if we have a success factor knowledge, there is a sequence that should be followed in every implementation. So we cannot blindly follow our own style. There should be a guideline given by success factor to follow the sequence for implementation. Introduction to instance, introduction to provisioning. Okay, I have already shown you these screens. What you can see here, this is a provisioning screen, and these are all the instance screen, whatever you're seeing it here. So we will talk more detail about that. Provisioning settings, home page acquaintance. Okay, so all these things, navigation menu, to-do list, what are the to-do, favorite, search functionality, and XML. So when we talk about core data model, these are the XML tool we'll be using it. So probably I would say, 10 to 15% of XML language you have to learn it. Okay, so those XML will be in detail. I'll be explaining it. That should be more than enough for you to understand and work in XML. XML, especially for data model, corporate, succession, country specific corporate, country specific succession data model. Okay, when we talk about the objects wise, foundation objects, organization objects, job foundation objects, pay objects, we all discussed on this. So I have covered them in this slide itself. You can see here various objects. So these are the object structure. Okay, location, pay, organization, structure objects. So these objects are used to build structure. Okay, pay structure. And we also talk about generic subject. Okay, generic objects, manage employee, how to hire an employee, how to terminate an employee, how to do a transaction to an employee, how the transaction runs in the system, how the workflow gets triggered in the system, how to change the workflow, how to change the approver, how to remove an approver, how to replace an approver, how to modify the workflow. All those things we'll be discussing. And employee profile, I discussed on this gateway to other modules. So we'll be discussing in detail how to configure data from employee central to employee profile, how the data will reflect in the system. Okay, so ESS, MSS, what role or what data employee can see, what data manager can see. Okay, an introduction to CSV file. Okay, we discussed on the data migration. Okay, so import export employee, so we discussed on the data migration part. So this is what the CSV template will fall into picture. RBP, so the last one we discussed was RBP. We discussed here in here RBP, role based permission. Okay, and user permissions, administrator permissions. So these are the various permission roles. Okay, administrator, HR administrator permissions. All these things we will be discussing it. Manage security, part of RBP. So we discussed on the workflows. Who will get what approval? Okay, so you can see here approver one, two, three. Okay, all these things. So workflows, roles, how the workflows are, how the approvers are getting identified. So we need to build them in dynamic group or dynamic role. Okay. Business rule, how to create a business rule, how to modify a business rule, how to copy a business rule, how to rewrite a business rule, how to build the condition, how to build the if condition, then condition, or let's say and condition or condition. All those things will be covered in the business rule. And data change workflow, so it's part of the workflows here. workflows here. Okay, personalizing the instance, company logo changing. So in the instance, we can also change the instance look and feel as we wanted. Team manager notification and MDF. This mostly built on the corporate structure. Corporate structure is built on MDF metadata framework. Configuration UI and pick list. Any drop down value called as pick list. How we can build the pick list, how we can create a pick list, what are the standard pick list, can we rename the pick list, if you want to deactivate a pick list, how to delete a pick list, how to make the pick list inactive in the system, what is a pick list ID, what is the status for the pick list, what is the code when we write a business rule, what should be maintained for the pick list, what we have to configure for pick list. So all those things. Custom portlets, how to create a custom portlet. What we have seen here is standard portlet, personal information, job information, address information. But here we will be discussing on the custom portlets, how we can configure a custom portlet. People profile, okay, same like theme manager, okay, similar to that we can define which data should come, should it come personal information, job information. If personal information, there are 10 to 12 portlets are there, which portlet should come first, which portlet should come second, how the layout should look, all these things we will be doing it in the configure people profile. Introduction to org chart, yes, this is what I would say org chart. What you see here, the organization structure, this is how it looks, how a typical org structure will look in the system. We can build the data, we can hire people, and we can see how the org data will look. Okay, same with the card, personal info, position org structure, and adding a position. So these will be covered under the position management, where we can add a lower position, peer position, and also a copy positions. All this we can do it as part of manage position. So introduction to position org chart. Okay. So where and all you can create a position. What are the activities you can do it under position org chart. Position management settings, advanced position management settings. In the settings, what and all we can do it. Okay. So all those things we will be discussing in detail. Okay. So when we do it, we will discuss, explain, understand the concept, configure it in the system, and also do it by yourself. Okay, when I show and configure it, and I also expect you should also configure and show it to me in the system. And text replacement password policy, so if you have, whenever they have a password policy, so we need to have the password and login policy settings. Badges, action search, and reports. So the manage badges, whenever there's a course completion happen, there will be badges is issued, and we can also search for people, search for actions in the admin center. And reports. So we have standard reports, custom reports, ad hoc reports, and canvas. So those are the reports we have it in the system, and reports are all common for all modules, and additional support provided by WinHorn is the 1 month demo access, and all SuccessFactors standard documents and guides will be provided. Guidance for certification preparation and also guidance for resume preparation. Okay. So in addition to that, no, they do a resume building, interview guidance also. They do a interview guidance, certification preparations, and Minhond also helps you build your interview confident. So they do a mock interviews and also placement assistance. They do it very, very well. So and they have a proven record in the past. Okay. So any questions now?
Yeah, Kumar, am I
Hello.
audible? This is Dhinesh.
Yeah, you can proceed after the Neville.
Just tell me.
So, Kumar, I just want to understand one thing, that as of now, we can see that there are more of the positions that are going down because of the AI and all. So, considering to the success factor, will AI also affect to this particular domain?
No. So success factor still they have not AI have not entered into success factor. Okay, and also this is a cloud solution. It's not a database solution. It's not a process oriented solution. It is customer to customer process or requirement based solutions. Okay, so AI will not have high influence in success factor.
Okay, fine. And how about into the recruitment process? Do you think it is going to concur into the recruitment process or something like that? Screening or something?
A recruitment process in the sense
Like as we have discussed about the end-to-end recruitment, like screening to the candidate and then taking their interviews
higher to
and then yeah, hiring process. So is AI going to take over to the hiring process for initial screening and all kind of these things?
you're talking about mock interviews.
Not for the mock interviews. I am asking about the screening process and all that we used to do into the first step of the recruitment process, the screening and all.
Okay, see, hire to
Listing.
retire is yeah, hire to retire is a complete process, but we are
Okay.
not doing a recruitment module training. We are doing a employee central training. So once a employee hires, he's been onboarded to the system. Then once he becomes an employee, he will be entered into employee central. So in employee central, we will have only active employees. Okay, so in recruitment you will have candidate data. In onboarding you will have employee who's supposed to join, but once an employee joins, the active employees will be in employee central.
Yeah, correct. Your point is correct that we will have the insight of the people who are currently onboarded with us, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm asking that if the AI take place into the recruitment process, will this screening process will be deleted from the recruiter's day-to-day activity,
Now if AI takes place, but I have not seen any AI interference in success factor as of now. Okay,
the
it will
recruitment
take time.
process?
Yeah, yeah, it will take time. At least for success factor, they have not
Yeah.
let AI to enter into success factor.
Okay, okay, fine, Kumar. Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, someone had a question.
Yeah, Kumar, I have. So, Kumar, like as you're explaining everything, I can understand something like that. If suppose if any company is given us for some for as per their requirement, so we are just going to miss success factor basically is in a product that we can modify according to the client need. Is it correct?
Yes, see, success factor comes with a ready-made solution, standard solution, and
Okay.
everybody don't like the standard solution, or a standard will not fit for every customer. So based on the customer needs, whatever standard, other than standard, whatever the custom solutions they have, we need to get an understanding, capture them in the workbook, then we have to configure it in the system and deliver it. So it is more of a custom solutions is what we will be getting it. See, it's not like no, the standard gives only two level of approval. If the workflow approval, if the customer says I need three level or four level, then we need to enhance that from two level to four level of approval.
So any particular coding we will do here because you have mentioned about XML. So it is a language that basically.
Yes, yes. As I said, it is very, very limited technical skill is required. It's only the basics of XML, and I would say you can either do it in XML or you can directly do it in the instance without coding. Okay, either way you can do it. I will teach both the way, whichever way you are comfortable, you can follow it.
So basically, what I can understand that a ready-made product is success factor is basically a ready-made product, and according to the customer, we are going to configure. Means everything is available there, but we need to modify, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And somewhere I can see that UI is also mentioned. So what is the use of UI?
It's a UI interface, user interface. It's not AI,
Yeah,
it's user interface.
yeah, that I
So the
understand.
look
But
and
what is
feel,
the use here?
the look and feel matters. Okay, so when the customer wants it in a different theme, different look and feel, we need to make it available in that view.
So we have to code there because UI different
No, madam.
is a
I think it is a drop down. Okay, it's just drop and map it. Okay, so it's nothing to do with
okay.
coding. You don't have to worry about that.
Like
Okay.
HTML, CSS, all those things we don't need to do, right?
No, 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 no coding.
Okay.
As I said, only 10% of XML coding you can also do without XML also directly also you can do it.
Okay. So, sir, one more thing I want to know. Then implementation means what? Then we people are doing that configuration, all the changes we are doing here. Then implementation, how, or like, are we are going to like learn the implementation, or what is how it is related to implementation?
Okay, so implementation means okay, first time the customer is not having success factor. First time we are introducing the success factor to the customer. It is called implementation project. First time we are implementing success factor to that particular client. Okay, let's say XYZ is the client. We are implementing XYZ for that particular client. Once we do the implementation, let's say customer is having I would say 50 countries customer is having presence. Now we have implemented for 30 countries. It's a huge project. Okay, once implementation is completed, we have 2 months hypercare support or 3 months sometimes. After that, if the customer says no, I still need your support because the team the 6 months once a release also will come, I just want to keep. So now once implementation is completed, we have a support. Okay, that is a AMS, ongoing support. Now we have only implemented for 30 countries. What about the remaining 20 countries? Customer if he wants, okay, I wanted to roll out this employee central to the another 20 countries. Then the implementation will get rolled out to the another 20 countries. That becomes a rollout project. So you have a implementation, you have a support, you have a rollout.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes.
Thank
Any other questions?
Kumar, I have a question again.
Yes.
So Kumar, I just want to understand one thing. If someone is not into this, particularly into the IT sections, means who have worked into the IT companies before, or currently is just a fresher who is passed out from a non-IT background or non-engineering background, so will they can also be considered for SAP consultants?
Yes. In fact, I am also not an engineering background. Okay. I am also non-engineering background.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
fine. Thank
I
you.
myself is a answer to you. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. If no
Uh,
questions, I will.
Hi, yeah,
Yes.
Kumar Rahima here.
Yes. Sir.
So, how will be the career opportunities for a fresher who have newly entered into SAP Success Factors? So, how will be the career growth or the opportunities?
See now, to be honest, success factor SAP. See, you know SAP world. Okay, it's a global product. Now, success factor is a SAP product. Okay, it is global product and the lot of opportunities available even for a freshers. All that we need is no. You should be dedicated towards your learning. Okay, so that is what more important here. Not just learning is alone will help. We need to learn and practice. So when an interviewer asks a question, if you are able to give a satisfied answers to all the questions, nothing will stop us. So it's not just training, it's also learning and practice matters a lot.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Any questions?
Yeah, Kumar. Actually, one more question I have. I have been working as a recruitment lead, and I'm working with multiple clients, and I'm getting only workday related requirements. So, is Workday
Okay.
and SuccessFactors both are same in the same platform, or which one is updated one? So,
Okay. So you may be working with a company which is having workday requirement. Okay. but Workday is only US market, but SuccessFactor it's a global market. Okay, both Workday and SuccessFactor both born in US. Okay, but SAP acquired SuccessFactor. Then after that, it became a global product. Workday you will not see outside US market. Okay, Workday you will see only in US market. Outside US, it is very limited. Whereas SuccessFactor you will see across the globe.
Okay, got it.
Hmm? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, if no questions, I will leave it to Ashok. Ashok.
Yeah, Kumar. Hi, guys. I think, I mean, if nobody has questions, so we can probably wind up the class. So we will discuss, like, we'll reach up to you later. So we'll discuss about like the session timings and schedule and all. Probably either me or my team will reach out to you. So uh, just wanted to inform.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have one
Yeah.
question from your end. Yeah,
Tell me.
actually,
Tell me.
yeah, I'm working. Okay, so like whatever the time, every like I can see that weekdays the session is going, means classes are going to be taken, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So, is there any possibilities for the weekend, like Saturday and Sunday?
No, Soma, that's what, like these things, we'll discuss offline because, it's all, I'll talk to you, don't worry. So, either my team or, either me. So, we'll reach out to you and we'll discuss about what are the schedules available and the timings. Everything we'll discuss, don't worry. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we are good to wind up the session. Thank you. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks, Kumar. Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you.